Heyo, my Planko friends, Johnny5 Alive here, and welcome back to another episode of Project Planko. Got another fully finished district in this. The coaster district is what I call it, because this is where the coasters pass through the back alleyways, the construction sites, and all the back workings of this district is fully interactable from our dueling coaster experience. So we have three amazing builds, two very large builds and a medium-sized one going into today's video. So a lot more setup in this one, a little bit of fixes, a little bit of things that we're going to be adding here and there. So still a lot to go over, even though we're just placing these three buildings, and it's going to fully complete this area of the park, which is also exciting. So why don't we get right on into it? All right, we're kicking things off with the big hero. Little hero. Big little hero. Building number 7. This is the Sugary Emporium. Shop and toilet as a hospital. What a crazy contraption. What a crazy idea. Yeah, there's a lot of weirdness happening here because I guess Batch thought that the city needs a hospital because we have our cornerstones, we have our fire department, chief beef, like PCPD, our entertainment, our racing, you know, has everything we need. Mechanic shop, we need a hospital. So we also wanted to include Sugary Emporium. There's a bit of an interesting discussion because what I didn't realize is, so we try to include all of the World's Fair, but I think we made a mistake. And I will discuss that with you guys here and let you behind the scenes. So there's no really good way of checking for World's Fair and discovering what those World's Fair things are. But if we go to like the music speakers, for example, and we look at the World's Fair, we have China, which we made our Miss Chow. We had France, which we made Little Seppi and Leven Sepp, and this was Chow Mein. Italy, which was our Gelateria, which we made little Geppetto. We have Morocco, which I believe is Dune Delights. Then we have Spain, which is, I believe, Churros, Spanish. And then Japan, which is Heya Sushi, and Japanese. Then we have Germany, which is Professor Wurst, and our sausage, Professor Wurst sausage. And then there's Great Britain. Great Britain is technically the Sugary Emporium. We did not know that. I did not know that. So, and I was always like, why is there like a Great Britain thing in here? And there wasn't really like a lot to go with it. It almost feels like something that was tacked on, right? So Sugary Emporium does, I mean, I don't really know, but for me, what's the Great Britain music sound like? Whoops. Yeah, there's nothing here that really screams British to me, is there? I don't really know though. With that all being said, I don't know if Britain personally would have fit in terms of like building a whole Britain area, a British area. Because in theory, some British buildings can just exist as is in the city. They would work. I might be wrong on that, but you know, I didn't see like a British thing in the game, a build set in the game that really called to us, that stood out from the rest of the city, such as a Japanese or Chinese or Italian or French scene would. And with the only two things in the game from the World's Fair DLC being a Sugary Emporium, which is honestly could work for France, it could work for Italy, it could work for literally anything. We had no idea that it was Great Britain themed. And then one little song calling out to Great Britain. Those were the only things that stood out to us. And I still think when we get to like a Moroccan theme and a Spanish theme, and we look at our characters, they still stand out much, much more exaggerated than that of Great Britain. Does that make sense? So I feel a little bit bad because in theory, what ended up happening is there's 7 World's Fairs. If you look at them all, China, Japan, France, Italy, Germany, Morocco, Spain, and then Burrito Bonanza, which is not a World's Fair. It's kind of funny. This actually should be Britain, I guess. But the way, you know, Mexico stands out on its own. There's definitely a big Mexican thing in Planet Coaster that has a whole build style towards it. As you can see from our little mini Mexico Mexalente here, which should have technically been over here, but that's fine. It's still a part of the Planet Coaster core game. So in all of the 8 World's Fair that we have, there's actually the 8th one being Mexico is actually core game. Burrito Bonanza was one of the core characters that was introduced to the game from the beginning, but we wanted to have like a little Mexico area. And if you think about like World's Fair, the reason they added World's Fair in and said, hey, we need to bring light to some of these other areas around the world and build pieces for these different themes like Italy, France, China, Japan, that sort of thing, because they already had Mexico pieces and Mexican character. They wanted to expand on that. So in some ways, Burrito Bonanza was the first World's Fair thing that was in the game, and it almost seemed unfair to have just one part of the world having its own little pack. So they went ahead and did World's Fair. So that's why I definitely wanted to include it, but have it separate from the city, because the Mexican build style stands out. And I definitely think someone could have just made a British style building and it would have fit perfectly in the city. So I feel like British in terms of build style might not have been as inspiring as its own whole area. So anyways, I feel like that was a fun little tangent and a backstory to send you guys on, because I don't know if anyone even knew there were pieces or things in the game, a couple things, and Sugary Emporium in specifically that was technically World's Fair. So we are including Sugary Emporium here. We do not have a character to represent Great Britain or the Sugary Emporium, unfortunately, but there was one point where I was like, should this be a giant British hospital with a British character that we include in here? We just couldn't we didn't have the resources to make that happen in the time that we figured it out. It was a little bit too late. So with all that said, I want to give a shout out to all the British people out there. Give a shout out to Great Britain and your Sugary Emporium, and just salute you, but also apologize because we did not find you a home in our park. So maybe what we could do at some point is we can reintroduce a nice little British building with a Sugary Emporium somewhere else in the park. If anyone has an idea, where can that go, what we can do for that, and we can have a little speaker with the Great Britain music playing, so that we at least included it somewhere, whether it be a tiny little shed or something, a British shed. Let's get it done, guys. Let's put it in. Maybe we can fit it somewhere in one of these blank spots here. I don't know, but I just wanted to bring that up. If anyone has any ideas, throw it down in the comments below. For now, our Sugary Emporium is just going to be a Sugary Emporium hospital, and that's created by Linnae. So it definitely I definitely felt the need to explain the backstory there. It probably is kind of interesting in the terms of did anybody know that the Sugary Emporium was British? And the reason I found that out was from Moomin Little Socks. He told me about that and I was like, no. Okay, this is already interesting. I've mentioned this before. I don't know why buildings are being imported on a slight angle. If the builder built it right here in the park and exported it, it should technically just be at the appropriate angle. So the fact that it's coming in off center like this is telling me that they built it somewhere else in the park, which is also kind of confusing to me, but it's okay. Well, I mean, nothing a little rotation can't fix. It's just it's weird for me to see that time to time. Most of the buildings have been at like the exact rotation and fit like nearly perfectly, and I think that's how they should all be in theory. So this is interesting. The visible text, the hide me text, they want me to sink it down that much? I felt like it worked elevated, but I do like it sunken in as well. It's going below the curb. Why is it slanted like this? This is lower, this is higher. Yeah, why are they curving downward? I don't quite understand that. And so much so that it's, yeah, not really fitting there. Well, yeah, not only was it rotated funky, now that I've rotated straight, look at the building. It looks to me like it's wavy. Does this not look like a straight line to you guys? It doesn't look straight to me. It looks like this is coming in at an angle, this is straight, and then this is coming in at an angle. This whole thing is like wobbly wonk, because if I slide this up, yeah, this like little garden's overhanging. It's kind of strange. Not that it matters that much. It does break away from the straightness of everything. Now, is this their own custom grass or is this our grass? Let's find out. Oh, so you do need to sink it down correctly. So the sink me, hide me sign is actually very important. I was going to say I like having this ledge here for whatever reason, but that's definitely not going to work for what we just saw on the backside. So we're going to do the sink me, hide me. There we go. And I covered up the other side of the building. Yep, this looks like a good fit. I like what's going on back here, to be honest. This looks really crazy. And I think we could just go ahead and place it. Although this staircase, I even though it says sink me, hide me here, I'm just going to go up a pixel just so that staircase doesn't pop out. And I kind of want to bring it forward a little bit, to be honest, just so I cover that up. And then there's a bit of an overhang here, which I'm quite okay with. And how does that affect the backside? Ooh. No, that's not great. What is happening back here? Yeah, this fence doesn't even seem straight, does it? Why? Why is this off? The whole building was tilted too. But if I straighten that fence in the back, the whole front is not straight. So, Lene, you did not build a straight fence. I think we're gonna have to do some workshop on this. Let's go ahead and bring this. I still don't like how there's a step down and a step up. I would ideally love to get this just perfect. You know, like this. Something like that. That would make me just so happy inside. But now the sink me, hide me sign is, how does that screw up the back? Yeah, these like stepping stones are way too tall now. It depends if they're all in a group, but I think the simple solution would be to follow the sink me, hide me signs and then adjust the stairs after. So let's just make sure that the front of the build is happy, and then I can fix all the other issues after. So I'm gonna go ahead and place it here, and I'm gonna bring the stairs up. Wait, did I select just the stairs? Let's just select the stairs here. Why can't I, where's my move tool? My move tool's not showing up. Split from group? There we go. I had to split it from the group for some reason. So yeah, if I just adjust this a little bit, I might be able to get that looking a little bit more proper. I don't know. Yeah, I'd rather have that stair look like it lines up. I think that's fine. It's not that noticeable. And then we have some stuff to do with the back here. Yeah, what's this fence doing here? Hello? Hello, fence? All right, hopefully I can grab all this. Oh, and then deselect these. Wait, what? Deselect those. Deselect these. And then we're just going to, we're going to just line up this fence properly. So we're going to rotate it, slide it back. That looks like it's lining up to the curve. It's so strange that this actually happened the way it did. And I'm actually going to bring it right onto the concrete. And it looks like it was built onto the concrete there. Now, we do have a weird thing going on with this foundation. Not necessarily Lene's fault. It was just a part of how the city was designed. So what we can do here is probably just rotate this to a, what is that, a 45-degree angle, and just sink it into the ground. I want it to line up with the fence, so what I'm probably just gonna do here is duplicate it. Now we have two of them. That looks good to me. And it fixes a lot of these issues that we're having. And then we could go ahead and take these fences, move them to line up with this one. A little bit of a gap here, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. And I don't know if we need this floor tile. Let's separate that from the group, or I could just slide it over. Let's see here. I think that works. But now what I kind of need to do is just get rid of this floor tile as well. And then I could just take another one of these, duplicate this, slide it over. And then we take another one, duplicate it, slide it back, and then line that up here. That looks good. Yeah. It's a little bit more cohesive of a corner piece now. That's all fitting in, but we will probably have like floating lampposts or something. Wait, what? I don't know what's going on with my move tool. Something seems off here. Okay, is it stuck in the ground? A little floating just a little bit, but these guys are floating. I think it makes more sense to have them on the inside of the fence. So we're gonna just do what Lene intended, but just make sure they're not floating and they're actually embedded in the ground. Now, what upsets me is that these rocks didn't quite line up with the fence, but I think it's okay. I don't want to fret that too much. In theory, this isn't like an area of the park which you would normally walk around, but from the foot level, it looks good. I think, yeah, this looks good. I don't have to fret too much about the placement of the rocks, but yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, a little bit of fix-up work there. Not too bad, though. How's this side looking? Good. So we got it all done there. And let's go take a look at the front of our build. That's all working out for us there. And I think we have to hook up a shop. we might just luck out here. No, you put bathrooms in. Well, actually, I'm actually happy that there's bathrooms in here. Oh crap! I'm happy that there's bathrooms in here because there should be more bathrooms in this park in general. So we are gonna. This is a bit awkward. Let's see if we can build from grid. Ah, I nailed it first try. Would you look at that? Why doesn't everything work out this easy when I do pathing? Yeah, I feel like I need to grid all this in because it just so happens that the pathing for the floor is sticking out of the floor. Like I'd have to raise the floor up, and I don't really want to do that. So I don't want these like little ledges running through the entire thing. So in order for me to clean up these ledges, I have to make it so that the guests can kind of walk around here. Intensive care. I think ending it here would be fine, and then we go to a regular path. We should be able to hook up all these shops just fine. I can't seem to get a path here. I could do something like that. That cleans it up a little bit. We should be able to hook this shop up. Yep, that went nicely. That went nicely. Look at this. Snug as a glove. Everything's just going in, and then those are hooked up. I don't know why I have railings at the back there, but I'll take it. And then boom, snaps to our sidewalk. Oh, wow, this was magical. I'm hitting that save button right now. Save park, new save, Project Planko version 1.78 save. Holy good googly moogly. Shout out to Lene for making what seemed to be the easiest pathing setup in this entire park, considering I hooked up not two, but 4 shops, a vending machine, a shop, and 2 bathrooms, and a fully interactable interior where the guests can walk around everything. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So in order to put the final touches on this, we will go to our barrier, and I think, yeah, this one seems to be about the width of this, a little bit. It doesn't really matter. Like, I could just ballpark it. I think that's fine, and just stuff it in, as long as you don't really see it, which you don't. The guests will kind of like avoid this object. They won't walk through it. They might like clip a little bit. I could put like 2 in here, but generally just having a barrier in this general vicinity, they will try to walk around it. So that should be enough guidance for them to not walk through stuff. And everything else is pretty open floor, so there shouldn't be any issues anywhere else. So good googly moogly. Was that easy to set up or what? All right, let's look at her build. First of all, wow. That is massive and awesome. I love it. And I'm just noticing, is this part of the Sugary Emporium sign? Let me go to the shop. So they had the canes. Oh, it's doing the low res texture buggered stuff. I wish I could see the full res texture. I don't know why this happens to me. Anyways, the pills is kind of genius because they match with the candy canes, and pills usually have like one side that's darker than the other. And that's kind of how the candy canes are. And they look like little candies. I love that design. What a good job, Lene. What a great idea. Running with the pills like you're taking little candies. So it's like, here, have a little bowl of candies, and we sneak your medicine in there. It's like when you trick your cat or dog into eating their medicine by putting it into their food. This is how they do it. They put your medicine into candy. Just don't eat too much candy. You might have an overdose. Oh no. Oh no. What's going on up here? Oh, cute. Little balcony thing there. The clock tower. I don't know why, but this reminds me of Back to the Future. The town hall clock tower thing. We got to get this thing up to 88 miles per hour, is it? Oh, wow. It does give me Back to the Future vibes. We need to rebuild the Back to the Future main city one day. Although we did see one in the early days of Planet Coaster, it just wasn't like, people weren't that evolved at doing things the way they do now, to the detail they do now. Yeah, what was his name? Zap Magic or something. Zap Magic, I think it was his name who made it. Zap Wizard, I think. Anyways, Lene, let's get your builder sign in here. Amazing build on the exterior. We're gonna go on the interior in just a second here. Just want to make sure I've done my due diligence out front. And let's get your name in here. L-E-E-N-E-E, Lene. And then we get rid of your place me signs. Very cool. Wow. The fact that it was like a Sugary emporium and a hospital, it came out really well. Now, what do we have here? Your pills and candy, intensive care, psychiatric ward. Very cool. Oh, the popsicle with the spirally thing. That's kind of clever. Oh my god, he's going insane. The insane asylum with the penguins. Oh my gosh. Got little Dexars in here patching people up. Oh wow. The nurses, you colored them. I like what you did with the bed sheets here. That's hilarious. Wow. We got mummies and nurses. Yeah. This is cool. This is really cool. Different kinds of candies and pills. She's all zombied out. Medication. Oh, we even have the Stay Puft in here. Oh my god. And then the bathrooms. Great. I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. It's a little bit more old school, old town, gas town kind of style vibes. A little bit different. Maybe even a little bit of Great Britain in there. I don't know. Our British buildings kind of look like this, maybe? So maybe my whole rant in the beginning, we could just write this off as, can we just put a British flag on this? I think that would be a way to, you know, tip our hat at the Great Brit. Yeah. It's cool. I know if you think about like a modern hospital, right? Modern day hospitals with the modern build style and, you know, big the colors, the symbols that they use for the hospital stuff. We would get something a little bit more in tune with that of the other services in our city. But this kind of gives me, yeah, I like the old, I think this works. I think it works really well. It kind of feels like an insane asylum, if anything, more so than a hospital. You know, like we don't have the ambulances rushing in and out. We don't have like the white, the heavy white with the red. We don't have like the cliche hospital. But what we do have is a candy and insane asylum. And in terms of like Planko-fying things, I think it works pretty well. And it is a nice change from being so serious with our services so far. And it is a little bit silly because we're mixing candy and pills together anyways. So it doesn't have like that modern pharmaceutical hospital style look to it, but I still like it. I still like it. I think it's great, and it fits this area quite nicely. It goes well with the Madman's building back here because he's gone so mad from he better come to the insane asylum and take his pills because he's lost his mind with this build. So yeah, I like it. I think you did a great job, Lene. I love the little details on this one. The walk around's really cool. It's really nice. And now, well, I guess past Johnny would have already shown you guys the coasters, but the current Johnny has not ridden the coasters yet. So now I get to see how that interacts back here, going past the insane asylum. And we still got to get this guy in to see how that'll interact with the coasters. So why don't we go do that now? Yeah, let's check it out. All right, so we got City Building 23, and this was created by Trooper Matthew. Trooper Matthew. So Trooper Matthew also did this big guy over here, if I am not mistaken. I think somebody was building this one and they said they couldn't finish in time, or they weren't having any luck with it. So Trooper was a super trooper, and he came in, saved the day, made us a build in record speed time. I think this build that we're about to look at was built in a day. What's this 900 piece limit? Whoops. Let's redo that. Let's go put it down. We have a Project Planko building, and it says Planko Museum. Very nice. So sink me, hide me, show me, hide me, love me. Aww. Oh, very sweet. And then let's try to line this up. You know, almost want to bring it out a little bit because what Madman's crazy building's doing here. But I think in previous videos I was saying that there's like, oh boy, let's see what's going on here. Yeah, we definitely need to butt it up. Look at this. What is happening here? He put a hole in his building here, and they put a hole in their building there. But both of them don't line up with each other's stuff. What's going on here? But we need it to, yeah, see, we have some scaffolding stuff crashing with the scaffolding that Warmgar made. So it's actually okay if I push it out a little bit, but we're gonna have to jam it together. We're gonna have to jam these guys together here. Yeah, there's a little bit of a hole there. Might have to fill that, but what's going on here? What is happening here? Yeah, okay. So if I jam it in there, it covers it up. It's okay that it sticks out a little bit because Madman sticks out as well. So now they're just like progressively slanting further as you go down. The road just getting skinnier and skinnier as you go, which is okay. And now that I've jammed it in there, yeah, this is just gonna be what it is. It is what it is. And now we have this giant alleyway here because Madman didn't fit his volume cube. But I actually think that works. Honestly, it kind of worked. I'm not mad at it at the end of the day. You can kind of pass through here and go get your pills. As you're going to go get your crazy pills, you might get hit by a couple racing coasters along the way. Or this is just a bunch of hallucinations from eating too much pills. I don't really know, but tell your own story. So I think this works. Let's place that in. Now we have a hole here. How do I fix that? What is all this? Is this just one billboard that I can move? It covers the windows so that when you look through them, nope, there's another panel here. All right, with that said, I think I should be able to just drop this down. Drop it down, drop it like it's hot. Let's go, move it here. I think this works. I hope I did that right. Seems fine. Let's go with that. I guess I could have continued the brick building pattern down, but that's more pieces, and this was a quick salvage work. Plus, this is like the back alleyways, even though Madman's front entrance is here. Wormgar had a bunch of ideas to make a more rubble like this, because this is all the back alleyways. But then Madman went ahead, like a madman, and made this his entrance. And then it screwed up all the plans because we're going to put more junk here, and we would make no sense to have junk in front of this house, but it already doesn't make sense that there's a coaster in front of this house. This whole area is supposed to be a back alley construction way with a lot of mess and debris and crazy stuff for the coasters to be themed around. And then that leads us to our construction site. So yeah, we'll talk about the construction site next. But yeah, Trooper did a good build here, and he did it in record time. What are they pulling up here? They're breaking into the museum. We got burglars. I get it. That's hilarious. They brought boxes just to put the stuff in, guys. That's funny. I love that. A great little Easter egg there. Trooper. Really good. We don't need the builder sign because he did one there. And what do we have here? Little signs. That's nice. It kind of flows really well with what's already here. Yeah, it's like a very like governmental fancy little street. I like it. I like it a lot. And I like all the back doodads. I really love the back doodads actually, because that's a lot of noise and interesting stuff to look at on the coasters. It's really cool. Really, 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 really cool. Awesome. Okay. Wow. Well, let's move on to the construction site then. The last one of the day. Let's do it. Okay, so here we go. We have building number 25 construction site by Ketasia, and I have the building kind of like half placed here. You can still see the volume cube, but just by pulling out the blueprint to take a look at it, it's already really not what I wanted, and I want to cry. Usually I'm trying not to be picky with things in this park. I want people to have the freedom to do whatever they want without me micromanaging everything, but I also have to kind of give Wormgar heck here. So Wormgar was helping Lisa with QA, and at one point he jumped in there to help with QA, and I believe Wormgar QA'd this one, and he basically was so nice that I don't even know what he was QAing. He just was like, this building, there's something there and I can slide it into place. Because even this building back here passed QA when the volume cube was this big and the building was a third of the size. And we were like, the rule was it should fill the volume cube and it should not pass QA if it does not fit the volume cube. And Wormgar was like, it fits the volume cube because it went inside of it. No, it's supposed to fill it. So that one it passed QA, got approved, and then when I went to place it, I had to send it back last minute, and it put a delay in all of the episodes and everything, and it was completely frustrating. So now we're getting to another building here, which is approved, and it does not only not fit the volume cube, but it doesn't even fit the build style. And if Mona Lisa would have been QA in this one instead of Wormgar, it would have never passed QA. Unfortunately for both the builder and Wormgar, because I got to get Wormgar in trouble here, and I also unfortunately have to let the builder know that I'm slightly disappointed with what we were given. And when I originally made the first video talking about the park, and I was telling people what plots were and what to assign, I even pointed out this one particularly and said, we have a construction site here, and if someone could build us like a half-built built building that has, you know, scaffold and guts and rebar hanging out and like a crane that goes up, and then all this like debris and rubble and materials down below. Because again, to my previous point, how I was talking in this episode, this whole back alley was supposed to be construction materials, trash, and then something back here as well. And it's going through all of these safety zones, and they're working on stuff. So this whole area was supposed to kind of be like open kind of and look like busy street construction. And if you see from any city, there's always cranes and construction sites in any city. They're always working on a site somewhere, and we wanted to include that here. So what we ended up happening was like, again, Warmgar's like, okay, I picked the building, it looks like it fits, pass it over. But like, you know, part of QA was to make sure like it meets the requirements, this and that. And because it's approved at this point, then it tells me like, okay, this one's good to go, I'm ready to put it in. And this was probably approved weeks ago. So if this would have not passed QA, they would have had like 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks, to get this reworked to what I just explained what it should have been. But considering I need all these builds in the next day, I can't do that now. I'm finding out little too late. So how big of a problem is it, right? Well, it's not the end of the world, but it's also not ideal. We don't have our lovely yellow cranes. We don't have our construction site. But if you go on the inside of this build, it looks like it's like under construction, and they are building Planet Aquarium. But had this builder communicated their idea with me in particular, or, you know, whatever, we are doing these custom TMTK signs. And in the past, I have Fua did a Planet Zoo video, and I made the thumbnail for it, and I called it Planet Aquarium. And I came up with this nice Planet Coaster logo that was the Planet Coaster logo, but around a fish instead of coaster or a lion like the Planet Zoo one. I did it around a fish, and I called it Planet Aquarium. And it would have been good to do that for this building. And I guess I could still replace one of these signs and make it a Planet Aquarium sign. Why is this all ripply like this? What is this? I have no idea what's going on. I've never seen bent signs. So anyways, it seems to me like it is under construction, but it's almost complete. And so it's kind of like a construction site, but it's also kind of just like a finished building. And so while I can't sit here and say that I hate the builder's build, I just hate the fact that, or I dislike, hate is a strong word, I'm slightly disappointed that it's not the construction site that we all envisioned it would be, and sad that the builder didn't pick up on that or watch the original video where I talked about that, because there's already a roof on this building. I expected there to be some tall building that's under construction and rebar sticking out, and I'm not the biggest fan of this giant wavy build, even though people were like, but Johnny, it uses the same one that you love with your Planet Coaster build. Well, these wavy roofs are kind of trash if they're used too heavily. You can see a lot of us used it in moderation and tried to switch it up as quickly as possible before it started to look like this. And so yeah, I'm being a little bit critical here, but I feel like this is a little bit much and kind of boring. How do you break that up? However, I do digress. It's like a giant wave, and it's a water building, so it's not that bad. But I definitely feel like I did a whirly rig. I've unsubscribed to my own blueprints, but I think what this needs now is like a giant basic shape splash. This needs like a big wave here and a big sign saying Aquarium. It feels unfinished. And I think I might have to message this builder after the video's done and ask for that. Or just add it in myself, because this, yeah, if you're coming down here, it's just, if it had a wave and it said Aquarium, it would look a lot more interesting. As of right now, it's looking kind of plain, kind of builderish. I do like the little design with the blue stuff here, the open glass. It's looking pretty cool, but it is very plainish on all sides. This whole building you throw a rock at this building, this whole glass panel goes out, shatters, and all of the layers drop and collapse. There's no pillars supporting this build. There's nothing like that. This is what I'm saying. Demona would have attacked this guy with the claws out, saying, you need to fix this, and that. And Warmgar was being the good cop, the good guy. And I definitely don't feel like a lot of this makes sense in terms of architectural structure, and it's just a little bit shy of making sense. You know, we just need some columns here and a nice logo, a nice sign to make this an aquarium. But now my thoughts are like, well, if you're gonna make it an aquarium, you might as well just make an aquarium. Why is it now a construction site on the inside? I guess they're assembling it all and they got the building done, but that's not usually how these things are constructed, you know. At least I don't think they are. I guess, yeah, if there's like pools, right, that's the first thing they build, not the last thing they build, because pools are part of the foundation. That's kind of my point there, is that if you have pools, you have slides, you have things, all of that stuff is built before the roof even goes on top. So part of me wants to just like delete the roof and or half of it even. I don't even know how that looks, but then we have like rebar sticking out of the sides, and you know, just so it looks like they're actually getting the roof on now. I don't know how that would look. You know, does that make sense? So it doesn't feel like it's under construction from the outside, but only on the inside. But from the outside, it looks like an aquarium building, but it also doesn't. It's a blue building, it's glassy, it has some fish on it, but it's not quite there. So that's where I'm like really indifferent about this whole thing. It's like, if we're gonna make an aquarium, we might as well make an aquarium. It's no longer a construction site, but it's already been done. It's a construction site on the inside. The person would have to redesign the whole thing in having how all of that works in mind, kind of like how our pip shop thing is constructed. We have the pools, we have the slides, all of that was planned out beforehand. So to add that in as an afterthought, it's gonna require a lot of work. And this little side doesn't have a pillar. What? We're missing a piece. Ugh, yeah, I don't wanna fix this. I don't. It's missing a quarter piece. The QA brain in me is like, how dare you? You see what I'm saying though, right, guys? Maybe what I could do is this building easy to delete? Maybe I could go in here and delete it all. I don't think it's very easy to delete. I mean, even that looks good. Wait a second, did I just get a happy accident? There's my construction site. There you go. And we just need a crane now. And we add a crane in, right? That's kind of what I was imagining, if that makes sense. That's more along the lines of what I wanted. A half-built building with some guts. And, but yeah, I feel really indifferent about it. And I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm not trying to like, hate on what the builder did. I do like the build and the idea of an aquarium, and I think this is headed in the right direction in terms of being an aquarium and an iconic thing to the park. We still need images. We like this. It feels unfinished. I think Emily Fabulous JPEG. What is that? You are fabulous. What? I'm so confused. There's nothing in the game that really represents aquariums, I don't think. So what do we even do for these advertisements? We need custom images. So I could go ahead and make like a custom Planet Aquarium logo, but then I would have to convert that to TMTK. So I would like the builder to do that. So that's like one step in the right direction. I actually do like this sign. We could probably leave that there. It fits right nicely. And maybe even do it for this one. And that's what I was saying. Instead of Planet Coaster, it says Planet Aquarium. And we just swap those out. Was there supposed to be custom images? Let me check. There's nothing on the workshop to indicate that there's custom images, but it's trying to load a custom image, which is kind of strange. But I do like, yeah, I would love those to say Planet Aquarium. So I mean, I feel like if the outside of the building is done, it should be done to 100%, and we should add some waves, add some more fishies, add some more logoization, something to jazz it up. And yeah, they're trying to put it together on the inside, which is really cool for the coaster perspective. And I think that works really, really well. So I feel like this building's probably at like 80%, right? Despite my qualms about about it not being what I envisioned earlier. I do think there is like a place and something to be said about having a aquarium, a planet aquarium in Planet Coaster, kind of like a cool little expansion pack. But the building itself needs to be, it needs trim, it needs supporting structures, it needs that sort of stuff. And I guess we're gonna just have to find something to add in here. So let's see here. What is this piece called here? There's got to be like a column for city brick. So if we go in here and we type in city brick, and there should be a pillar. They don't have pillar caps? Why? Okay, let's just look for columns. What's our options here? There's this thing. It's kind of horrendous. You know, that kind of works. I could color it. I think that's like the most foundational kind of piece I can find, but what does it look like when we make it blue? What is this, blue? I don't like the dark blue on it. The light blue is kind of fun, kind of matches with that blue. So we can go ahead and take that and then, wow, separate it from the building, bring it over to the corners, kind of cover it up. But now how does that affect things on the inside? It's not too bad, but it definitely, we need something to like hold this building up, so when a rock gets thrown at the at the window there, the whole building doesn't come crashing down. It's bothering me. My QA brain says that this does not make any sense. So we can go ahead and do that, and then hit done, and then sink it all down. Yeah, it's not the best little bit there, but hey, you know what? At least it somewhat makes sense. And we can pull that over here, something like that. Yep. Put one up here. But this is what I'm trying to say, though. While I'm not like completely happy with what I'm doing here, I think it's up to the builder to decide how they want to integrate that and then tie logos and design patterns in between. And maybe they would have thought of that a little bit more if they weren't thinking, hey, this building's a half complete building. I would have almost rather had the completed aquarium at the end of the day. And I think that would have looked kind of interesting in the park, but it's a little too late now, and we're just gonna have to work with what we got and just at least add some supporting structure to this build. I'm gonna have to rotate this one because the coaster kind of clips through. Let's do this. What's sticking out there? There we go. I don't like how that looks, but at least the building's held together. I also feel like this needs a trim on the back. Why is there no trim on the back side? Let's move one of these over here. See if we can fit that in. Maybe that'll help it look a little bit more clean. But this is what I'm saying, that like I could probably spend the next few hours on this build, just like improving little bits and stuff. And generally, Lisa was really good at finding all this stuff and then telling people to do it themselves. So, you know, shout out to Lisa for doing such a good job. And sorry, Warmgar, but you didn't. Oh, and I'm only giving him a hard time. I definitely love Warmgar and appreciate everything he does. He's a very helpful guy, but he's too nice for his own good. So I'm just saying what it is, and yep, that's fine. It's completely fine. But yeah, Lisa's done a fantastic job at like, at least not like, you know, she hasn't been like mean to people and being like, your build sucks, do this. She's just been very constructive. Hey, where's the construction site? She's very constructive, and she's done a good job at like mentoring people and helping them get their builds thought out. And if she saw a problem, yeah, I feel like there needs to be some supporting structures back here. So we're gonna try to do one. And so she would make these types of suggestions to people that I'm doing here, and then they would add that kind of stuff in and relook at their build and add anything that seemed incomplete or missing. And then if they needed some more advanced help, like with this one here, send them over to me for custom stuff. Ask Johnny if that's okay. Let's work together. Let's get that done. And I would love to add some sort of splash effect. I think, let me see here. Give me a second. I was trying to find something on the workshop that was like a splash. I found this by Glitter Peach or somebody. Now, it's not the nicest looking. I made one for my whirly rig, which I just resubscribed to. And I probably have the splash in my blueprints, but I moved all my blueprints to an archive. So I don't know if I actually did a good job grouping these. Actually, it looks like they're all one piece. Well, there's 3 pieces total. So if I move them out, that's not half that bad. So, yeah, that's... You know what? My whirly... Is this... Ooh. Oh, that's not that bad either. Okay, we can get rid of all this. Hopefully I'm not deleting anything else. All right, let's see if we can get this to fit on top. It might be a little bit too big is my worry. Yeah, it's kind of massive. I don't know. What do you guys think? You like it? Is it too big? Would it work if it was just at the back and down like this? Because, or I could also just delete the big one and then we go like this, right? And then take the small one and duplicate that. And then just like rotate a little bit for randomness. I don't know. Or it could go like this or behind like that. I don't really know. Or I could just do 3 small ones. But I feel like there needs to be like a logo or a splash or and then we can take some signs. It's not quite doing it for me, this. But I feel like something like that would actually really elevate this and break something up there that you know, and maybe get this little guy up here. Hanging out on the corner. I don't know. That's actually kind of cute. Yeah, I'm gonna put this guy in here for now. It actually kind of fits quite perfectly. He's like waving at people. That's kind of crazy. So wow, that's actually quite a nice fit. Quite a nice fit indeed. That's kind of crazy. Hello. I need the seaweed. I should have kept the seaweed. There we go. There we go. Gotta bring the seaweed back. No, I love that. Maybe if he was... Actually, no, he's fine orange. He's complimentary. Got that blue and orange there. I want to see a few more things up here. If you guys have anything to add, let me know. I'll try approaching like Rohana or even the builder themselves. I definitely think adding those supporting pillars made the building look more reinforced and broke up the plainness of it. Still would love to see some sort of spots, you know, water splash spots. I think a good example of that would be what they did for the pip shop here. There's like all these little dots and stuff. It looks really nice. So some sort of pattern would be good, but I'm fine. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm overthinking it. It's probably just fine the way it is. But I personally feel like swapping out Planet Coaster for Planet Aquarium would be cool, but it's way too much work for me to do in terms of TMTK at this point. If the builder wanted to do the tutorial and convert it themselves, I'd be okay with that. Otherwise, I'm just leaving it as Planet Coaster for now. And it's... Yep, it is what it is. It's a half construction site. I think it'll be interesting running through the coaster through here, which you guys at this point would have already saw the coaster, and it probably was interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Past Johnny has saw it. Future Johnny has not. So yeah, I think it's fine. And I like the little whirly rig up there, our Tenty Foo. He has to make an appearance. I actually really love that. That's great. I'm leaving that there. If we can find something to add to there, I'll add it in the future. I'll run it by a few people, and maybe it'll just look different in the future. We'll see. Definitely something to revisit, but overall, I like the Planet Aquarium idea, and like I said, it's like 80% there. It just needs a little bit of dressing here and there. Could have used a little bit of doodads and polish around it, but I feel like because they thought it was a construction site, they could get away with not really fully completing it either, which I sort of agree with. It kind of makes sense. So it's kind of like a weird situation of like, what do you do? What do you do? It's kind of half there, half not. It's a construction site and might not be the construction site I originally wanted, but now that I think of an aquarium being in the park, I kind of want one of those too. So now I get best of both worlds, I guess, which is cool, and it serves its purpose. It's a fun Planko style building. It brings a lot of color to this corner of the street, so that's always a good thing. We have the big red and yellow over there. Now we got the orange and blue over here. Ties to the cornerstones, makes each corner of the park very colorful, and I think that's fine. So I think the builder did do something interesting with the build spot. I actually do like the building design for the most part, other than a few structural support issues. It does have that waviness like an aquarium should, and there's some fun little details like this, and I would just like to see a little bit more of that added in, because I do enjoy it, and it brings a lot of Planko vibrance and playfulness to the build. So overall, I'm pretty happy. I might have hemmed and hawed and had to fix a few things and add a few things, and I think once a couple extra doodads get put in there and I hit it, I go, yes, I'm very happy now. So at this very moment, I just feel like it's missing something, and we're not quite there yet, but we're almost there. And I do love how the coaster is going to look coming through all this like junk. And that's what I was originally really excited about, to see how this would look through going through a construction site. And we still get that. Look at all this craziness we see coming through here. So that's awesome. I'm pretty happy about that. You definitely did the visual. That's a lot of basically coaster theming right there. So I can't really complain. Yeah. So stupid squid. All right, well, I think that wraps it up. Let's take a look at this for a second. We have our whole little city district here. This is what I call the coaster district, and it is in. This is all the theming that you're gonna see from the coaster, going through the bank there, going through all this crazy stuff. It's all complete. It's pretty awesome. It's a whole nother district done. Ladies and gentlemen, would you look at that? So just the heads up, we have a few extra buildings here and there and here and there that need to be placed in, and that will all come in the next video, all of it. And once I put all that in, all the plots, 84 plots it ended up being, which was originally 82, I think. All 84 plots after the very next episode will 100% complete the placement of all the plots, other than these big purple contest ones. And that's when I really will melt my computer, when those get in. And those will be the following videos. At the moment of me recording this, I don't even know what these look like yet. I think at this very moment of the recordings, we're going to be featuring these in 1 week from now. They're due. So I haven't even looked at them. I've seen teasers of what they're going to look like. But by the time you guys are watching this video, we probably already have the winner, and I probably have already placed them in the park and recorded a video on it. Really cool. So trying to stay ahead of the game, and I cannot believe how amazing this is. I'll probably save my thoughts for the next video, because that's when they're all going to be in. But that's another district done, and a really cool one. Very, very cool. Great job on this one, you guys. What did you guys think? Throw your comments down below. If you have any suggestions, or if you think this building's fine, let me know about that one too. And that's going to do it for this episode of Project Planko. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye now.